Step Out, Step In is a weekly podcast to encourage, motivate, inspire you to step out of your comfort zone, to step in to what you have been designed for and to do. Hello, this is David Joe. Please join me this and every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my Step Out, Step In podcast, live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page, like and follow me on Facebook and LinkedIn. One more favor, share and comment. Hope to see you on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. And I'd like to welcome you to tonight's episode 41 of my weekly Step Out, Step In podcast, live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I'm so excited to come your way again this Monday, this week, the 28th of August in the year of our Lord 2023. And I would like to say a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my YouTube page. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Don't forget to click on the notification bell. And anytime I post something, you will be notified. And again, thank you so much. Last week, I missed coming your way. It was something beyond my control. Sorry about that. And we're making it up today. And if you can also support my YouTube page or my podcast by clicking on the Buy Me a Coffee link. There's a link in there that says Buy Me a Coffee. You know, I'm a coffee drinker. I love coffee. And any donation can go a long way to support and make this page or this podcast better. And again, thank you for tuning in. I want you to do one thing. If you can share the link with one person, let the one person also share with another person, and let's do this together. All right, so tonight, I'm your host, David Joe, and today I'll be delving into the topic that's essential for our well-being and happiness. And I'll be talking about how technology impacts building a meaningful relationship. How technology impacts building a meaningful relationship. You know, whether it's your family, whether it's friends or your spouse, your every relationship, your partner, a meaningful connection can enrich our lives in countless ways. So as I talk about this tonight, I want you to grab your favorite beverage, find a comfortable spot, and let's embark on this journey of connection together. You know, this is I said the other time that leave a comment or any suggestion as to topics that can be discussed in this podcast. And one of my dedicated subscribers on this page, on the Step Out, Step In podcast, said I should talk about relationships. And that is what from episode 39 I started talking about building meaningful relationships. And you know, it is very vital and very essential as humans to build meaningful relationships. You know, we're getting to the place in our lives where relationships kind of is getting a little bit superficial, but you and I can always make a difference. You know, God created you and I for relationships. And because He's a God of relationship, that is why He created you and I for relationship. You know, as a person of faith, let me share this scripture. In Genesis chapter 2 and verse 18, it talks about, the Lord said, "It is not good for a man to be alone." It says, it is not good for a man to be alone. I will make and helper suitable for him. Most of the time we hear this scripture being read during wedding ceremonies and stuff like that. But I believe that it is not only for marriage, but it is for relationship. It is for relationship. God said it is not good for a man to be alone. And he built you and I for relationships. That is why his word says it is not good. In fact, nobody is created to be an island. We are all created for relationships. And in episode 39, I talked about building meaningful relationships. In episode 40, I talked about what makes meaningful relationship deteriorate. And if you get a chance, you can tune in to the other episodes on my YouTube page, and you can listen to that if you can. And I'll be really excited if you can do that. Leave a comment, and I'll make sure I go back to it and respond to it if it needs any response. All right, so if you're just tuning in, I want to welcome you to episode 41 of my weekly Step Out, Step In podcast, live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube page, please do so. Follow me on Facebook and LinkedIn, like, comment, and share. And can I say that technology has had a profound impact on how we build and maintain meaningful relationships. While it has brought numerous benefits and conveniences, it also has introduced new challenges and considerations. And tonight I want to talk about some of the ways by which technology has affected the process of building meaningful relationships. And as we get into it, leave a comment as well. If you have any questions, please leave them. Easy ones as well. Easy ones, of course. So number one is it has increased connectivity. Technology has made it easier than ever to connect with people around the world. Now, you can talk to anyone, anywhere in the world in real time. Just a few minutes ago, I had this conference call with my siblings in West Africa and North Carolina, and we all met by the miracle of technology. And social media, messaging apps, and video calls also allows us to stay in touch with friends and family, regardless of physical distance. So that is another good side of technology. It has increased connectivity. Number two, it has given us access to information. Technology has given us access to information, and the internet provides a wealth of information that can enhance conversations and deepen understanding between individuals. It is easier to learn about each other's interests, culture, and experiences. But ladies and gentlemen, let's also be mindful that it can also provide a lot of fake news and conspiracy theories that can make it difficult to build meaningful relationships. So not only has it increased connectivity, has it given us access to information, it is also a form of efficient communication. Now, it is said that text messaging and email offer quick and efficient communication, enabling us to share our thoughts, share updates, and emotions instantly. In fact, Google study tells us that the average response time for a text message is 90 seconds. The average response for a text message is 90 seconds. And According to Google study, messaging etiquette says that waiting more than 20 minutes to respond to a text message can be seen as rude. I've been rude based on this countless times. And this form of technology, efficient communication, this can help maintain a sense of closeness, even when we're physically apart. So not only has it increased connectivity, has it access information, efficient communication, it also gives us that virtual relationship. It gives us a virtual relationship. Online communities and social media platforms have enabled the formation of virtual relationships where people can connect based on shared interests and or experiences. We all can connect. It's giving us the virtual relationships. I mean, I have friends I talk to most of the time outside where I live, and we connect virtually. I mean, we can see each other real time. We either do FaceTime or WhatsApp video, and and you can experience the closeness as we connect. It also gives us it also connects long distance relationships. Technology has brought us far. It has made it more feasible to sustain. It has made it more feasible to sustain long-term relationships through regular communication and virtual interactions. So all this is helping us using technology to build meaningful relationships. It also enhances creativity. Technology provides tools and for creative expressions, allowing people to share art, music, writings, and other forms of self-expressions with their loved ones. During the COVID, we all noticed that Zoom became one big thing. Now, people use Zoom for all kinds of meetings, sharing all kinds of information and all that. So, as I said earlier, technology helps us to increase connectivity. It helps us to access or gives us access to information, efficient communication. It helps us with virtual relationship building, virtual relationships. It enables us to connect with long distance relationships. It enhances creativity. And number 7, it can also be a superficial connection. Being a superficial connection, I say that, look at the number of followers you have on your social media platform. Either Facebook, IG, Snapchat. And sometimes you have all these thousands of followers, thousands of friends. But how many of them can you really connect? And for you to say that I'm building or I've built a meaningful relationship with all these followers and friends, it makes it a little bit superficial. So while technology facilitates quick communication, it can sometimes lead to shallow interactions and lack of depth in relationships. And this day and age, we use more emojis and abbreviations, and it's replacing the meaningful conversations. I was chatting with a friend the other time, and he sent me an emoji. I had to go back and research to find out the meaning of that emoji. So it's replacing. So it makes the relationship a little bit superficial. It makes it superficial. We also look at social comparison. Social comparison, it's more social media can foster feelings of inadequacy or envy as people compare their lives uh, um, to what they're seeing online. But I want to tell you something. That you don't always have to believe what you're seeing online. I tell my kids all the time that you don't have to always believe anything and everything you see online. Because this day and age of technology with Photoshop and AI and all that, I would say just stay in your lane. Don't do any social comparison. It can be very stressful though, and it can be potentially straining, and that can even affect your self-esteem and your relationships with other people. It can also cause distraction and multitasking. I tell people that I don't multitask. I don't. Not that I can do it. I can do it. All right. Sorry about that. That was a slight interlude right there. So it can also cause distractions and multitasking. Constant connectivity can lead to distracted interactions with people, focusing on their devices rather than fully engaging with those around them. One of the things that I do when I go out is I observe a lot. Most of the time when I go to restaurants, I want to look around. And anytime I go to the restaurant with my family, I tell them no phone time, all phones away. Because you look around and they have the head bowed syndrome. They all have their head bowed, glued to their phones. And that alone can drift you from connecting. I remember back in the days you go to the restaurant and that is where you connect, that is where you engage each other, that is where you open up a conversation. But these days you go out and everybody's glued to their phones. And it can be very distracting. It can be very distracting. And all right, it's also a privacy concern. The digital age has raised concerns about privacy. And as personal information can be easily shared, leading to potential breaches or misunderstanding. Can lead to potential breaches. I was telling my kids the other time, I think it was yesterday, we were having a conversation, and I was telling them that, look, in this day and age, anything you post on your social media feed, it doesn't go away. And that is what a lot of people don't really understand and consider. Anything you post online doesn't go away. And with our electronic devices, yes, excuse me, your privacy can be easily breached. So that is one of the aspects that we have to be concerned about, we have to pay attention to. So if we're going to allow technology to help us build meaningful relationships, these are other things that we have to consider, we have to look at. It also brings about miscommunication. miscommunication. I talked about emojis and abbreviations and all that now um, in the text messaging world. We just put it out there. Sometimes we find it so hard spelling out a whole word, so we'll abbreviate it. And sometimes the abbreviations can mean something different. Miscommunication is the absence of nonverbal cues in digital communication, and it can sometimes lead to misinterpretation or misunderstanding, affecting the quality of relationships. Let me share my personal experience. I was chatting with a friend not too long ago, and he made a comment instructing me to do something. All right. And he stated the instructions, but before he made the instructions, he started off with 3 laughing emojis. I'm kind of old school too, so I didn't pay attention to the 3 laughing emojis. In fact, I saw them, but I didn't pay attention to the 3 laughing emojis. And he proceeded with the instructions in caps. In my world, when you put everything in caps, I mean, when you start off in small letters, but then when you break and you put everything in caps, it means you're yelling. So that got me ticked off a little bit. Yes, I got ticked off a little bit. And my response to my friend was a little bit harsh, let me put it that way, because I got ticked off because I thought he was yelling, instructing me to do this, whatever he was telling me to do. So until he called to clarify what he meant. To my friend, he wanted to emphasize on what he was asking me to do. That is why he said he put it in caps. All right. But to me, I thought he was yelling and he was being a little bit aggressive, instructing me to do something, or kind of pushing me to do something. So until he called to clarify, I misinterpreted what he wrote, what he sent. I misunderstood him. He got me ticked off. My responses were not the best. But when he called to clarify, I did apologize for my actions. So there can be a lot of miscommunication. There can be a lot of misunderstanding and misinterpretation in that area of digital communication. And this could have, I think this could have resulted in a good relationship going down the drain. What if he hadn't reached back to me to clarify what he meant? And I misunderstanding him, I misinterpreting what he wrote or what he said, and misjudging could have severed our relationship. So again, I would say that if anybody says anything, don't be quick to judge. Get clarification. All right? Because in communication, effective communication, our verbal is only 7%. The non-verbal is 93%. And non-verbal can mean anything. Body language, facial expressions, you name it. Our voice only carries 7%. And last but not least, our dependency on technology. Our dependency on technology. We rely so much on technology, and being over reliance on technology can lead to a reduced face-to-face interactions and hinder the development of strong interpersonal skills. I know of a few people who say they don't like talking to people face to face. They would rather text or FaceTime or and even yeah, they prefer texting more than talking or having a FaceTime chat. You know, and once we depend so much on technology, they can lead us to a reduced face-to-face interaction, and that can hinder our development of developing strong interpersonal skills. So in navigating the effects of technology on relationship, it's also important to find a balance that works for you. You know, everybody is different. Everybody is different. But let's get it to the place where we can find a balance. Now, the key word here is balance. What works best for you? That we're talking about building effective and meaningful relationships. We want to shift away from building the superficial kind of relationship. Now, people pride in the number of followers they have on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, you name it, all the social media. But how many of them do you have, or have you built that meaningful relationship with? You know, embracing technology while also prioritizing interactions, practicing active listening, and being mindful of how technology is impacting your relationship, my relationship, can help you and I build and maintain, not only build, but we want to build and maintain meaningful connections in today's digital world. Technology has come to stay. It's not going anywhere. But if we're going to use it, let's use it to build meaningful relationships. Open communication, active listening, empathy. And that is one word we are kind of missing out in this digital world, empathy. So open communication, active listening, empathy, and a willingness to work through challenges together are essential in maintaining strong and fulfilling connections. So with that said, let's build meaningful relationships. Let's maintain meaningful relationships. And as we build meaningful relationships, let's also consider what can make meaningful relationships deteriorate so that we eliminate those. We use technology to build it up, strengthen it, and maintain it as we journey together and along. So again, thank you for watching the Step Out, Step In podcast live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And please don't forget to subscribe to my Step Out, Step In podcast, share, and comment. Click on the Buy Me a Coffee if you want to support the page or the podcast. And watch the space, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay. Let's see. Step Out, Step In. It's a weekly podcast to encourage, motivate, inspire you to step out of your comfort zone, to step in to what you have been designed for and to do. Hello, this is David Joe. Please join me this and every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my Step Out, Step In podcast, live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page, like and follow me on Facebook and LinkedIn. One more favor, share and comment. Hope to see you on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, once again, thank you for tuning in to my Step Out, Step In podcast. And just before I sign off, I have an announcement. Okay. I'll be taking a break from the second week in September until sometime in October. So please take a note. So from the second week in September, I'll be taking a break, and we'll be back sometime in October. And I would like to ask that you pray for me as I also pray for you. So again, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page. Follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, comment, support, buy me a coffee. And let's connect on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time till I take a break and watch the space. Again, thank you for joining me, and until same time next week, keep spreading love, understanding, and connection as you and I build and maintain meaningful relationships. Stay tuned for more inspiring content. This is David Joe signing off from my Step Out, Step In podcast. And until we meet again, I say goodbye. I love you, and there's nothing you can do